Coming up,
can't get any easier than this.
Our good friend Chef Ray from Publix shares the secret to making healthy meals at home quick and easy. Speaking of secrets, how this famous South Florida museum was created is still a mystery, but we'll do some snooping around. Then,
it just pumps you up to even want to skate even more without you even realizing it.
This century-old sport is making another comeback, and we'll learn what it takes to start. We'll also speak to the fastest female 5K runner in SoFlo. Jenna takes you to a staycation destination, and we'll pick the best of all of these waters. It's all today on SoFlo Health.
This wall is made completely of coral, and each segment is 5.8 tons. Hello and welcome to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and today we are at the very aptly named Coral Castle, because this whole place is made of coral, and it was all placed here by Ed Leeds Scallon in 1936 using equipment made from what you would find in a junkyard, basically. Now, there's so much more to see ahead, so follow me as we head inside of the Coral Castle. First, you'll have to watch a few health things, but something tells me that you'll be seeing unusual accomplishment. We're back in the kitchen at Publix Aprons Cooking School with Chef Ray. Last time we made fried rice, well, cauliflower rice, and it was delicious. Now, what are we making today?
We're going to be making a zucchini noodle with a pesto cream sauce, some chicken, and some mushrooms. So the very first thing we're going to do, though, is we are going to toast up some pine nuts.
There's no oil needed?
The pine nuts themselves start to release some oil, and then that helps in the toasting. While that's doing its thing, this is just such a great item that we have here in our produce department. They have one with zucchini and onions. This one's the mushrooms, garlic, and some rosemary. And you can actually steam them in the bag. But what we're going to do is we're going to take them out. We're going to place them in a pan. These are fantastic. You also get some whole garlic cloves and then a nice sprig of rosemary. And then make sure, you see how they're starting to shine up a little bit?
Yeah, they're starting to get shiny.
Just give it a little turn on the pan. Just back and forth. You see that?
Oh, wow, look at that.
Mm-hmm. And I already have some of these mushrooms that I did a few minutes ago. They don't take very long at all, but as you can see, they have shrunk up a little bit. That garlic is nice and soft. Those look great. You can smell them. I can smell them even through the mask. These are cooked chicken strips that we sell. These are Greenwise brand. You can get a barbecue one. This one is a sea salt and pepper. For this, we're not going to go with barbecue. We're going to go with the sea salt and pepper. This is already cooked, so all we're trying to do is just really heat this up. Can't get any easier than this. Now, I'm going to add our mushrooms, which are already cooked, but now we're going to start to build up these flavors. Our friends over at Piro Farms, they have these spiralized zucchini noodles, and they also have a little bit of like a pesto sauce that comes with them, so it makes things even that much easier. But if you wanted to buy the plain ones, you could. Now, these zucchini noodles cook in no time. All you really got to do is just warm them through. We're going to add your perfect pine nuts, our little sauce packet here. So we have some fresh basil, and all you're going to do is you're just going to hand tear. All right, give it one final turn and we are done.
Here we go. Try and get a little of everything here. Wow. That's really good. It's so simple too.
Everything has such a great flavor to begin with. The chicken, the noodles, the sauce. We really didn't have to add anything to this.
Tastes great. Thanks a lot, Chef Ray. This is really delicious. In fact, I just got some pine nut, little toasty in there. Tastes great.
And the fresh basil just kind of comes through. It's really good.
Thanks a lot.
Well, you're welcome.
One of the first things to experience at Coral Castle is the doorbell. Only ring it twice, because if you ring it too many times, you'll make Ed mad, and we don't want to do that. Part of what's so impressive here is something like this 6,000-pound piece of coral. As with all of these gigantic coral blocks, we don't have a clue how Ed moved them. However, he made it simple to move a block like this with fairly minimal effort. Some people think it's because of his aliens. Others say it was harnessing the power of the pyramids. There's rumor of Ed levitating these coral stones into place. No one really knows but Ed. Nonetheless, it's very impressive, and we're going to take a look around and show you some other cool stuff he made. I was just taking a look through Ed's telescope. When you look through it, you see two cross wires. Well, actually, you take a look through it. Those two cross wires align with the North Star. Ed used this information at night to study the patterns of Earth's movement so that he could create his sundial, which we'll see next. I'm at Greenbelt Park right next to Fort Lauderdale Airport, and I'm joined by Emily Daycock today. Emily, you're a runner, but you're not just a runner, you're a 5K runner, you're a marathon runner, and you're an ultra runner.
Yes.
Tell me about your story and how you got started running.
Well, I started running about being a survivor of epilepsy, started running 5 months after my seizure stopped back in 2007 May. I started running because I wanted to lose weight from a medication that was used to treat my seizures. I feel like running has, I can't prove it, but has helped me in a lot of ways and with my seizures too. And this year I'll be December 10th, 15 years no seizures.
Well, Emily, you have a great story, and on top of that, you're also pretty fast. So tell us about some of your times and some of the races you qualified for.
Well, I qualified this year for my first Boston Marathon, October 11th. Right now in the marathon, my fastest time is 3:11:48. That's the one I qualified for this year with.
Wow, it's pretty impressive. What do you say we go take a seat and talk a little more?
Sure.
Let's do it. Well, Emily, you have an inspiring story. You're not just that, but you're also fast and you're really dedicated. So there's a lot of people watching right now that maybe have gotten into running before, or they want to maybe push where they are in their current running. What advice would you have to people that just want to get better?
Well, I would suggest that, as we were going into nutrition, it's about 80% nutrition, and then, the rest is exercise. Why
do you choose to do keto over, a lot of people, you hear about carb loading and things like that. Why do you choose to do keto instead of loading up on carbs?
Well, it's also improved my times. With non-cramping, it's made my times come down little by little. My best 5K time right now is 18:12. One of my goals is to, keep going down, to about 15s, so I could be in the Summer Olympics. It's always been a big dream, and people always ask me and tell me I should be in the Summer Olympics, but I first got to get the time down.
So the keto gives you the energy to be able to perform where you need to?
I feel more energetic. I'm hardly ever tired. It's made my energy level tremendous. The difference is, a lot of people say carb up. Well, I don't carb up, I fat up.
Yeah, so we look forward to seeing your times at the Boston Marathon and hopefully seeing you at the Summer Olympics next time around. Emily, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course.
If you love skating or have always wanted to learn how, stay tuned. Plus, this sundial is one of very few in the world that tells time in 3 ways. Find out how it works after the break.
That is one half of Ed Lee Scalman's telescope here at Coral Castle in Homestead. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and before the break, I was telling you how Ed used to study the North Star and the movement of the Earth through this telescope to create a sundial that's unlike any other in the world that we know of. Let's go meet Armando and learn more about it. Hey Armando.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good to see you.
Likewise.
Tell us about the Coral Castle.
The Coral Castle, it's a pretty incredible place, and it was created by one man as a tribute for his lost love back in the old country, essentially. That's the gist of the story here. It's a love story.
I mean, the whole place is impressive,
yeah,
for many, many reasons. But tell me about what we're in front of right here.
This is one of my favorite pieces here. This is Ed's sundial, and it's the only sundial that they know of that tells time in 3 different ways. It tells you the time of day, the month of the year, and the season as well. Now, the thing that casts the shadow is the metal piece that you see up here.
Okay.
And if you look, the shadow's over here right now.
I see it.
If you go straight up, it's past 10:30, so I would say it's about 10:20. Now look at your watch. What time it is? What time is it?
It is 11:24 right now.
Oh no, what happened? We're off by a whole hour. What did Ed do wrong here?
Is it daylight savings time?
It isn't, exactly. Ed didn't have daylight savings in his time. So in November, it'll be back on time when we go back on standard time. So that's how it tells time. It tells you the month this way. Now, on June 20th this year was the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. At noon, the sun was high in the sky and the shadow was way down here at noon, over here. The opposite is December 21st, the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. At noon, the sun is lower in the sky and the shadow appears way up here. So the shadow climbs up and down with the month. Down here in June, then all the way up to December and back down to June. It tells you what month it is. And then the points over here are the equinoxes that tell you the season. So 3 ways of telling time in one sundial. I think this is one of the neatest things here.
Wow. I hear recently you've made another discovery here on property. Tell me about it.
Yes, a couple of years ago they were digging for maintenance here. And instead of hitting hard rock under the grass, which is what they expect here in Florida with a coral rock, they hit soft soil. And so they started digging and they discovered one of Ed's original quarries out in the back. So the rocks that came from the quarry are part of the castle now. He took them out of the ground and built with them here.
Wow. And do we know how?
Do we know how? There's many theories about it. There's some very good evidence about it. There's some good documentation, and then there's some gaps that we have to kind of fill in, and that's where the great theories about the coral castle come in.
What are some of the best ones?
Some of the most popular ones are that Ed was harnessing the power of reverse polarity or anti-gravity to lift stones. There's a really popular theory about ley lines that has been around for many, many years. They say that the theory of ley lines is how they built Stonehenge in England as well. One that's very popular of late is called harmonic levitation, using sound waves to lift large stones. It's one of the most viable ones, I think.
Well, Armando, thanks for sharing just a glimpse of what there is to see here and giving us some great information, some theory, and some real deal timekeeping that is only, as far as we know, done here. So, Armando, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, okay, hold on. I made it. Hey, Daniela, how are you?
Hey, Hunter. Good, how are you?
I'm doing wonderfully. It's good to see you again. For those of you that may not remember or didn't see Daniela before, we last saw her at Joe Picasso's showing us how to make a bowl and many other things out of clay. And today we're on skates because you recently learned how.
Yes, I did.
And why? What inspired that?
Well, like a lot of people, I found skating during quarantine. I was bored out of my mind, just looking for something fun to do, something to exercise, take care of myself, and I found skating.
So I'm hoping that you can teach me a thing or two.
Of course.
What should I know?
Okay, so the very basics are standing up. We want to start a little bit wider and just kind of find your balance. Find your balance.
I think I'm doing all right.
Yeah, definitely. You're doing great. Okay, are you ready to roll?
I think so. I hope so.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We're gonna keep low still.
Okay.
And just transfer weight from one leg to the other. And now I'm gonna teach you how to stop.
Okay.
You're gonna go wide with your feet and push your heels out. Push out until you stop. Bend your knees, bend your knees. Yes.
Oh, I'm like shaking.
Yes, yes. So it's a good workout for your outer thighs.
Definitely. So you go wider and then you push your
heels out.
Oh, that's so weird that caused you to stop.
Yes. So don't push your toes out, just your heels out, and that will cause you to stop.
So like as if I'm going to basically to go stand like this.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
I started skating a little bit before the pandemic. I started in university. My friends and I would just go, but then with time I was like, oh, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. And then with time we just got so much better. And then when the pandemic hit, it just exploded. I skate because of the community. I've met so many people of all ages and backgrounds. So it's a wonderful way to exercise, meet people, just feel that sense of community, and I love it.
I skate because it's just something that just gets me going. It's my therapy. It's to the point where I've excelled from a regular recreational skater to now a known professional skater. Not only is it great for cardio, endurance, it builds stamina, it builds confidence, and feeling that effect, I would say adrenaline effect, while you're skating, it just pumps you up to even want to skate even more without you even realizing it. Come to Super Rules Miami Skating Center. It's the place to be, and honestly, it's an experience that you will never forget.
When SoFlo Health returns, Jenna takes you to the scenic South Miami staycation spot, and we'll tell you which bottled water is best for your health.
Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and today we are spending the day inside of Coral Castle Homestead. It was famously assembled by Ed Leedscallan, and I'm going to take a seat here at the famous Florida table. It is constructed in perfect proportion to the state of Florida, down to Lake Okeechobee, which you can see over there, which could be used as a punch bowl, or in today's case, probably a bird bath. One other fun fact is the chair I'm sitting in is actually reserved for the governor of Florida. Sorry, Ron, beat you to it. Water. Agua. The elixir of life. Water. All right, we get it. It's water. We got it. If you've been watching SoFlo Health long enough, you know at this point that you need to stay hydrated for many reasons. It's good for your brain, it's good for blood flow, it's good for your skin, and we sweat so much here in South Florida in this heat, it's a good idea to get a little extra water in us. So this isn't about necessarily just drinking water. You know to do that, and I promise to only remind you a few more times throughout the year. What this is about today is all of the different choices you have when it comes to water. So let's say you don't want any minerals in your water, you just want straight water as clean as it can be. Well, in that case, you want distilled water or reverse osmosis water. Well, hold on a second. Just because it's reverse osmosis doesn't mean it doesn't have minerals in it. It shouldn't from the process of reverse osmosis, but in, say, this case, they've added minerals for flavor into the water. To find out for sure if your water has minerals or not, just check out the ingredient list, which usually just says water, but in this case, it also says calcium chloride, bicarbonate, magnesium chloride, and electrolytes added for taste. And when it comes to drinking distilled water, be careful, you don't want to exclusively drink distilled water because you do need some of those minerals. While we're on the subject of minerals, let's talk about how much mineral content is actually in the water that advertised that it has minerals in it. Evian here and Pellegrino, which tout themselves as mineral water from the mountains or from Italy in this case. Hang in there with me, we're almost done here with the water talk, and then we can liquidate this segment and move on to the rest of SoFlo Health. But first, we need to talk about pH or alkaline water. It's fairly popular in the health community. The question is, does it do anything for us? We know for a healthy body that your blood pH needs to be somewhere around 7.4. We also know that it's healthier to err on the side of being alkaline than too acidic. So how does the water come in? Well, you'll notice here that the pH says 10. 0 is the most acidic that you can be on the scale, and 14 is the most alkaline you could be on the scale. So no wonder we're somewhere in the middle. This water is a 10, which is lower, which we know at least isn't adding acidity to our bodies. How much that affects our health, we're still unsure, but there are some studies showing that if you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, or insulin resistance, that drinking alkaline water may be an improvement for your health. There's evidence that if you drink alkaline water right after a workout, it lowers blood viscosity, which basically means that your blood flows more efficiently, and we like that. Now there's one thing I'm forgetting. Ah yes, tap water. Tap water can be just fine. Make sure that you look up where your water source is from to see what they're putting in your water to make sure that it's clean and safe for you and that's okay with your health goals. If you're unsure, you can always pass it through a filter. All right, now all this water talk has me thirsty. On with the show. Water. H2O. Agua. Ed lived here while constructing this masterpiece. In fact, that's his house back there, and it makes you wonder, how did he live here? Where did he put his food? Where did he get his water? Ed had an answer for everything. This well was created entirely out of one chunk of coral that he carved for his purposes. He would get his fresh water from this part of the well, and then he created a staircase that goes down to create some sort of a cellar. As you go deeper into the earth, it gets a little bit cooler, so he basically had a primitive refrigerator by being able to store things down here where it was cooler. And I gotta say, it's probably 20 feet down there. Very impressive, because remember, he didn't have running water to work with in the first place. He didn't have light at night that was electric powered. He didn't even have power tools. He did all this by hand, and it still makes us wonder, how?
SoFlo Health's Healthy Travels, sponsored by GBG Travel.
I'm Jenna Mark here at Thesis Hotel in Coral Gables, and it is an oasis in one of SoFlo's most historical cities. You've got to check it out. We have these beautiful cocktails on this table, so I want to get right to that. why are we spritzing?
There's always a good time to have a spritz, right? We've actually extended our spritz to daily in our Mermaid restaurant. So ladies, this is for you. You can enjoy this every day for 50% off if you are dining for 4 people or more.
Perfect, so let's cheers to that.
Love it.
Talk to us about all the fun stuff you have to offer here and why people should come and check out the hotel.
Absolutely. So Thesis opened in August of 2020. The hotel is a lifestyle boutique property with 245 guest rooms that are moderately appointed and beautifully designed. We sit adjacent from the University of Miami, so the synergies are so exciting to be able to build out programming and events. We wanted to have different offerings, and people have all different types of fitness passions. So yoga is a no-brainer for us. We have a great partner with Green Monkey Yoga. They come twice a week and they're jamming out in our Paseo courtyard.
When people hear TikTok, I know my brain does it, I'm sure there's plenty of others that do the same thing, you're thinking the app.
Sure.
So what does the TikTok and TikTok tequila really mean?
So TikTok is actually, it's a race against the clock. So, you want to get that cocktail in at 6 o'clock so you can pay $6 instead of the 7 o'clock, $7.
It's time for TikTok tequila. I'm here with AJ, the pro, who's going to show me, the not so pro, how to make a margarita, Thesis Hotel style.
All right, ready? Set the clock.
I'm ready.
2 ounces of Don Julio. Don Julio Blanco tequila is a classic tequila and a delicious flavor profile for any margarita. And then we'll add ½ ounce of our chinola, which is a passion fruit liqueur. And next you want to do a half of agave, so just fill it up halfway, and then you're ready to shake. There you go. So you're ready for the pool party.
All right, so final step.
Final step, just add the lime and you're good to go.
That was easy. All right, after a long day at the pool, having some fun in the sun, some salsa dancing, whatever you choose to do here at Thesis Hotel Miami, there's nothing better than capping it off with a fresh margarita. Cheers, Hunter, and all of SoFlo.
SoFlo Health's Healthy Travels, sponsored by GBG Travel.
Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and we have spent the day at Coral Castle in Homestead. It was put together by Ed Leeds Scalnan, who was mysterious, but also your average Joe that believed that a man's home was his castle, and that every castle deserved a throne. And that's where I'm sitting right now, and I have to say, it's actually pretty comfortable. Off to my right, you will see the Mad Rocker, which is a love seat of sorts used to settle disputes between you and your significant other. Off to my left is the famous 18,000-pound, formerly revolving door that used to be able to be moved with just the push of a finger. It broke in the 1980s, and they haven't been able to restore it the way Ed had it since, which is crazy thinking about all of the technological advances we've made since then. That's all for this week's episode of SoFlo Health. Thank you so much for watching. There's still so much more to see here at Coral Castle. It's something that you definitely have to experience for yourself. As always, you can catch previous episodes of SoFlo Health on SoFloHealth.com. You can follow us and share with us what you're doing to stay healthy, or if you visit here, using @SoFloHealth. And until next week, I think I'm going to hang out in this throne just a little bit longer. Goodbye and good health.
Next week on SoFlo Health, vampires and close talkers beware. Professor Produce brings you the benefits of garlic. Find out how to make your shopping trips healthier, and this poke restaurant brings healthy flavors from all over the world to your bowl in South Beach. Join us for more SoFlo Health next week. We'll see you then.